I've been a coach for 13 years and I now run a full-time team of 8 amazing coaches, and we've helped thousands of people transform the way they look and feel. This is what I do all day, every day, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So I'm gonna compress 13 years of fat loss truths and lessons into this one video. Lesson 1, healthy eating isn't always enough. If you've got $100 to spend every day, whether you spend that $100 at the strip club or you donate it to charity, it's still gone. The number of clients that tell us they're eating healthy and getting nowhere before they start working with us is insanely high. I understand this one can be frustrating, and for the most part, eating healthier is the way to go. But when it comes to fat loss, the amount of calories you eat is the main driver. Things like macadamia nuts, olive oil, granola, and peanut butter are all healthy and very good for you. And you can eat them and lose weight, but they are also very high in calories. And if you're not tracking them and it's causing you to eat more calories than you burn on a consistent basis, you'll never lose body fat. Which leads us straight into lesson number 2. Calories aren't a debate. Calories in versus calories out isn't an opinion, it's physics. Whether you like it or not, it is the foundation of fat loss. If you've ever lost weight before, it's because you were eating in a calorie deficit. And if you've ever gained weight before, it's because you're eating in a calorie surplus. Lesson number 3, slow and steady doesn't always win. Some people do better with a larger calorie deficit and slightly more aggressive approach to their fat loss goal, and others do better going slow and steady and being in a moderate calorie deficit and losing fat at a pace they can stick with. The key is finding what works better for you, your personality, and your lifestyle. Quick little story to drive this point home. I've been doing this a long time and I still make mistakes. Every year I do a little summer shred, you know, just a little tidy. What the fuck was that? Every year I do a little summer shred, just a little tidy up to try and drop a few kgs of body fat. Last year I thought, let me try something different and take a slower approach. I'll be less hungry and I might be able to train better. Well, I should have known my personality and lifestyle does better with a faster, let's get this shit done approach. I still achieved my goal for the summer shred, but it took 12 weeks instead of probably the 6 to 8 that it should have, or that it normally does. And to be honest, I felt the same hunger and usual effects of a deficit that I normally would. So figure out what works best for you and just stay with that approach. Lesson number 4, early wins are everything. I've noticed a common trend over the last decade with clients who get the best results and also keep making more long term. Now, this isn't a rule, it's not 100% definite, but it is something I've witnessed that I think will help you. Seeing progress in the first week or 2 will dramatically increase your chances of sticking with it and achieving your fat loss goal. Even if the first kilo that comes off in week 1 or 2 is all water weight, it still impacts your mindset and your trust in the process. So I highly recommend fully committing to the fat loss goal and your deficit from day 1. Get those wins in early doors and it'll set you up nicely to continue going. Lesson number 5, don't throw your toys out the cot. My nan and grandpa used to say this to me when I was younger, because if I had a bad game of football or even a shit first half, I would start telling myself that I'm so shit and I should quit and blah blah blah. And really, like, quitting an entire sport because you had an off game, it sounds ridiculous, right? Well, when it comes to fat loss, this is by far the most common thing and the most common reason I see people quitting. If you have a massive social meal or even an entire day, that doesn't ruin your long-term fat loss progress. Just get straight back on track after and you'll be sweet. Lesson number 6, nutrition IQ can increase very quickly. Tracking your nutrition is a very valuable skill worth learning. This is the fastest way to learn how many calories are in the food you eat, how much protein is in certain foods, how they help or don't help your goals, how they make you feel, and everything in between. This is another common trait that I see in people that stay in really good shape year round, and it's what I call their nutrition IQ. This is also a game changer for social eating, holidays, and traveling. Studies have shown that people can underestimate their calories by up to 50%. That's fucking huge. So you can see how learning about your food choices can make it 10 times easier to lose the fat, but more importantly, keep it off. Lesson number 7, you're worrying about the wrong shit. Should you eat white potato or sweet potato? Should you stop eating at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m.? Should you do the leg press or hack squat? What time should you take your creatine? You get the point. You've only got a certain amount of mental bandwidth, and there's probably a lot of important shit that you need to remember on a daily basis that doesn't relate to your fitness goals. So worry about the right things, and that leads me to lesson 8.
So download my app.
That's a good plug, eh? You only need to nail a few things. To lose body fat, keep it off, and transform the way you look, there are only really a few things you need to do. But don't let simple and easy get mixed up here. They are simple, but they're not super easy. First thing to focus on is your calorie and protein intake. Calories will dictate the weight coming off, and the protein will make sure you hold on to muscle and does some other important shit your body needs to. The second is lifting weights. Even a few times per week is enough. And yeah, you can lose fat without that. but it's harder. You won't look as defined if you don't also lift weights, and you might end up with that skinny fat look that you probably don't want. And to be honest, if you nail those 2 things, calories, protein, weight, technically 3. Anyway, you're 90% of the way there. And then the last thing I would focus on is sleep. Again, you can lose fat with shitty sleep habits, but it just makes it 10 times easier if you've got good habits. So with those few things in mind, each time you have a question like, should I eat 5 meals a day or should I eat 3 meals and a snack? You can simply ask yourself the question, which one will help me stick to my calories and protein goal better? Whichever the answer is, that's the one I recommend you doing. Lesson number 9, the boring stuff works. Eating similar meals, following a training program, and keeping it simple is criminally underrated. Let's say you find a handful of meals you really enjoy. They hit your calorie and protein goal, they're simple to make, and they're not time consuming in the slightest. I'd recommend smashing those meals on repeat until you get super bored, and then switch it up a bit and repeat that process. Again, patterns in the most successful clients that we see are the ones that keep it stupid simple. This also helps reduce meal prep time, food waste, grocery bills, cleaning up, and other stuff. Lesson number 10, genetic mind games. This one fucks with the best of us. Genetics play a much larger role than you think. It's why you shouldn't compare your transformation or progress to someone else's. I know you've heard that 1,000 times before, but use it as inspiration, just don't use it as a target to aim for. Especially because your social media favors the genetic elite, and it's why the majority of what you see online is ridiculously shredded or in insane shape humans. Also, keep in mind, the photos, the thumbnails, the videos you see are highly edited. They're taken in the best lighting with the best angles. And to be clear, I don't think that's a bad thing. Everyone wants to display their best self, nothing wrong with that. But it's just important that on your fat loss journey, you don't look at these and think that's how you should look 24/7, because it's just not the case. Lesson number 11, trends are trash. TikTok is the king of this. Don't follow fat loss trends, follow science and fat loss principles. The more people get rewarded for views, the more I've seen the wildest shit being shared and posted around losing fat. Castor oil in your belly button. Like, excuse me, what?
Coffee, anal gazing.
The coffee anal gazing. Like, what? And the views on these videos, it's insane. Then there's the green tea detox supplements. Drink this for 7 days and you're gonna be shredded. Probably because you'd be shitting through the eye of a needle all week. And every other fad under the sun, just avoid these at all costs. If you can't do it longer than 7 days, it's probably trash. Lesson number 12, one that took me too long to learn. Weekends versus weekdays. If your weekend looks polar opposite to your weekdays, it's gonna be 10 times harder to lose fat. Routine does make fat loss so much easier. And just a little reminder that alcohol has calories. Vodka doesn't equal 0 calories like I thought it did when I was 16. Those were the days. Anyways, lesson number 13, weight loss versus fat loss. If the scale drops but you lose muscle with it, you'll be smaller but not necessarily leaner or more defined. Now, if you only care about losing weight and you don't care about losing muscle or changing the shape of your body, then you can do that by just focusing on your calories. But I'm guessing that you want to transform the way you look and you want to mainly lose body fat. For this, weight training is gold. When it comes to changing the way you look, weight training and a high protein, it's a must. And remember, you got a lot of shit going on. So if you just focus on the few things that actually matter for fat loss and body transformation, stay focused on those, ignore all the rest, you will win. And if you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate your trust, and YouTube reckons you'll like this video as well.